Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I just want us to talk about something very, very important. I was having a conversation with some young people, and here in South Africa, of course, you might have actually heard or you might have read about the numbers, the rising numbers of unemployment, and with young people being the victims of this unemployment. It prompts us to have conversations from time to time. And I just had a conversation, very interesting conversation with young people who some of them were already on the verge of finishing their university studies, and some are students still very much at the low level of their studies, while others are young people who have not really had the opportunity to go and study at university or any other college, but they're finding themselves in a situation where they are not employed, and they are trying their best to get into the the employment cycle, because it's tough for any young person when they are not employed, when they don't have any other resources. So when we had this conversation, it just came to a point where we were talking, and then they started asking, especially looking at the current situation with the COVID-19 and anything that actually goes around it, because it has worsened the situation and the numbers of the unemployment rate. And so we were just talking to say, now, here we are, no skills, nothing, but we are in the 21st century, and other countries are doing very, very well. But these young people are asking themselves questions to say, where to from here? And then we had this kind of discussion. And I said to them, one of the skills, that is why this video, we call it the 21st century skills. And this is just part one of that. And I said to them, one of the skills that you, out of anything else, even if you, this skill is a deciding factor. And this skill is very, very important. Everybody, in fact, whether you're an adult, whether you are a young person, you need to have the skill, because life changes, and the circumstances that we already know or that we have known for all the years, COVID-19 has proven that those kind of knowledges that we once had, or the kind of things that we were actually told to really concentrate on at the time, those things don't work anymore. But this kind of skill is not a skill that is new. It's a skill that has always been there. It's a skill that we have always been talking about. And as a teacher myself, over the years that I've been in the classroom, I've taught this skill many, many times. And it's a skill of creativity. You see, disparate times would always require disparate measures. And at the time like this, where you find yourself in a situation where life is so tough, then you need this kind of skill. This kind of skill can get you out of difficult situations. This kind of skill will help you to navigate through the storms of life. This kind of skill would always, always put you above the rest. Whether you are going for an interview, whether you are not going for an interview, but just trying to make ends meet on your own, this skill will definitely make a difference. Now, the skill of creativity, it helps you in different ways. Of course, it helps you to spot opportunities. Creative people spot opportunities. I've been looking at how many other businesses or many other young people have looked at COVID-19 and the way things have actually been. And a lot of them, out of creativity, they have found themselves outside of their normal zone, their normal ways of operation. But they've created something so big because of creativity. And creativity helped them to spot the opportunities. Now, if you look at just a simple thing, if you look at the businesses that are in delivery of food, those businesses have moved so far, and a lot of people at this stage have found themselves having some kind of income that is rolling simply because of that. Either they were using, either they have decided to use their own vehicles, or they've decided to rent vehicles or hire scooters, whatever they actually decided to do. But they are into the market now. They are busy circulating. So they are very economically active. But those who have not been creative, those who have not actually spotted these opportunities, are still sitting and asking themselves, where to from here? The second thing that it will do for you is that it actually helps you. Creativity helps you to utilize your own innate gifts and talents. And I'm talking about this thing because I understand very well that a lot of people, as a believer myself, I do know that God has given us lots and lots of talents. And this is one part which we should be bragging about as human beings. Portioned each and every one of us a gift or two, even three, talents that are there for us to utilize to be able to find ourselves in something big. A lot of people have gone into comedy and doing skits because of their own talents. And one way or another, they have started raking in some kind of income. So when you are creative, you stand a better chance of being able to utilize your own gifts. You have a point of reference where you can sit down and reflect on what is it that I've been gifted in that I can turn this into some kind of income. And those are the things that when I think back and I look at how talented young people are, I find it very, very interesting. And interesting in the sense that they can actually do something with their lives. But I find it also very depressing on the other side when I realize that some of these young people are sitting with very, very disturbing, especially at this time where the unemployment rate has gone. It teaches you to be deliberate for learning a new skill, because it is so important that at a time like this, when things are not really going so well, you can actually learn a new skill. A lot of people, in the line of what I'm doing, I do remember in the beginning of the year, in our ECD training college, we found ourselves sitting with a situation where one of the students was a paramedic. Because she did not really love the job as such, when COVID-19 set in, she decided deliberately that she wanted to learn a new skill. And the new skill that she has actually discovered, which she wanted to get into, was to learn to become a teacher for early childhood learners. And this is, right now we're talking, it's November and closer to the end of November. And this girl is going to graduate. So it's very important that when you utilize your creativity, you must realize that you don't just use your creativity, but you use it in order to learn a new skill. And learning a new skill, it's something very, very interesting, because you end up going also with the flow, mixing what you already know with what you actually have not really tapped so much into. But when you finish learning that skill, what happens? You find yourself in a better position where you become employable if you want to really become employed, or you find yourself in a situation where you don't just want to be employed, but you want to be a job creator. So you create new job opportunities, not only for yourself, but for many, many others. Thank you so much for staying on course with us for tonight. And of course, we are going to be a very, very interesting kind of century and challenges like these ones that we have at the current moment. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will definitely be coming back in a few days to run with this new one. Thank you, and do enjoy.